Hello everybody, welcome to this playthrough for Pro Division in the Fall Major Tournament. We're going to play a full 9 of the Eagle Peak. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content. Subscribe to patreon.com/golfclashtommy for the text guides for the Fall Major Tournament. In this playthrough, you will see an info box on the right hand side with some elevation tips, some ball tips, club tips, and everything to help you a little bit more than just with my talking. As you know, the videos goes kind of quick as we try to not make it as long so you have enough time to actually watch the whole thing. So use the information boxes, use the pause and rewind possibility here on YouTube. You can go back and you can check. There is definitely some key holes here. Hole 1, hole 2, hole 5 and hole 8 are absolute key holes where I do believe we're going to be able to drop all 4 of them, where in this playthrough you will see me at least drop 2 of them, and hopefully that's going to help. So in the end, I think it's time to stop talking, or at least for a little bit, and go to hole number 1. So, hole number 1, we are going to play with either a quarterback or the rock. Depends on which one you feel the most comfortable with, combined with what level you have it in. Power 2 ball, katana, and we're using 3 top spin and as much side spin to the right possible. The thing that I'm looking for is to just get my ball down the middle here. 20% extra is what we do need to add, because we're playing this one massively downhill. Getting it down there on the fairway just before the bunkers, around 325 to 335 yards. Then we're going to have a shot from distance here. And now we're going to see a replay, so you will not be seeing the ball in the circle in the end, but you're gonna see what I'm looking for. All but 1 bar backspin here is that I'm looking for. And look at the ball guideline. We do have a little funnel here. So going back and forth, the ball guideline isn't moving, and that is definitely something that we will take to advantage here. We are going to adjust this one in between medium and maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment. And here you can see the replay glitch here, that it's still going to say perfect, and we're not going to use any curl whatsoever, just a normal shot. Getting it up there, bounce, roll up, use the funnel, and the ball is gonna fall very, very nicely down towards the hole. That is the way that I'm going to play every single time on hole 1. So for hole number 2, we are going to look for the funnel. You will see 1 shot with a higher level sniper and then 1 with actually a Viper. We are starting at plus 4 yard mark looking for the funnel. Once again, a lot of funnels here in the Eagle Peak. 1 bar side spin to the right, and you can see that I'm aiming very close to the rough line, but that is all calculated for. And we kind of need to play that type of way because it's going to be a massively good attempt for an hole-in-one on this hole. Maximum distance with a 30% over adjustment. So this one is massively downhill, and that is going to definitely help you by knowing what elevation you're going to use. Kingmaker, power 3 ball, we want the distance, we want the wind resistance, so I think the Kingmaker would be the most valuable. Very, very close. So what do we do then? We are going to take a look at how we play this one with a Viper, for those of you having a very low level sniper, and then we're going to play with 1.5 bar side spin to the right, which is something that we will apply on a higher level sniper as well, because we missed left, then therefore we need to play 1.5 bar side spin. Plus 4 yard mark, same type of distance is what we're going to choose with the Viper level 7. Adjust it for maximum distance plus 30%, and then we're going to take our shot. So I wanted to show you with 2 type of clubs, it's possible to find the funnel even though you do not have the ball guideline as we do have on a higher level sniper. So if you do have a higher level sniper, even though we get hole-in-one here, you have an advantage over other players. So we go to hole number 3, and here we're going to talk about the drive real quick, and we're going to start by noticing that we're going to play without any elevation. I have the big topper, But I would like you to change, to actually play with just an extra mile or a Thor's hammer or Apocalypse, because we don't need this amount of topspin. Because the problem is, using this amount of topspin is going to make us go too far. And if we go too far, we are going to have a problem, as we do have tailwind for the second shot to be in between clubs. So I wanted to show this big topper shot at least, to just see that you're gonna see for yourself, as when you get this far with this club, you are going to be in between clubs trying to go for the backspin shot towards the pin. So back up a little bit, use another driver that don't give you that much topspin, and then you're gonna be fine. Second shot, I want us to play with the sniper. You can see I've changed account. It's because this account I made a better drive. I didn't go too far. I want to play with a sniper if I do have at least 6.5 bar backspin, which sniper 9 and sniper 10 is having. Otherwise, I would change to the guardian. That's why we have the guardian suggested on the right hand side. Aim for the hole by using backspin and then the ball guideline towards the pin, which also is one reason why I want to have the sniper instead of having the guardian, because here I do have the ball guideline to help me. Over adjust 10%, which means that we do need to add. Every time we over adjust, it means that we're playing it slightly downhill and the ball is going to be affected more by the wind. And if you're lucky, you get up there, the ball falls back down, and you're gonna bring home a nice little albatross to your scorecard. So for hole number 4, we are going to show two ways. One, when we play with a Goliath here, and then we're going to play with a Katana. There is probably a lot of you going to want to play with a Grizzly, but don't do that please, because then you're going to be in between clubs, as the Grizzly does not have the distance as the Goliath. Half of the red ring inside the rough to the right, and we're using as much side spin to the right possible, with 1 bar of backspin. This is a tough one to dial in to get exact, but you can definitely get close all the time. 10% over adjustment is needed because we're playing slightly downhill and the ball is going to be affected more by the wind. Maximum distance adjustment. For the second attempt, we're going to play with a Kingmaker here using the rough bump. This is a very aggressive line with a great right, great left. You might not going to get the ball to bounce on the target that you're aiming for, which puts the bunker and the fairway definitely in play. But if you dial it in with a rough bump, or like let's say like this, it's easier to dial it in and you will get more hole-in-ones by hitting perfect going with the rough bump than going with the long iron shot. But once again, if you hit great, you are in real danger and you might risking the birdie. So I wanted to at least show this shot here so you know that it exists. Medium distance with a 10% over adjustment, max side spin to the left, and then you're gonna be there. For hole number 5, we are going to play as aggressively as possible. Try to use a driver with 6 topspin. If you don't have 6 topspin, you're gonna use as much as you possible can. A driver like the extra mile, Thor's hammer, Apocalypse is very valuable here. Max topspin, 3 bars left spin, and then you're going to adjust your target with a maximum distance with no over adjustment, push up to max, and just a tiny bit overpower. You don't have to go with max overpower here, because you do want to just use a little bit and then get the ball to either bounce directly over to the other side, as you can see there, into the bunker, or you have to then roll down towards the hill. But why do I choose to show a second shot that is with a thorn? It's because you are going to mess up that drive sometimes. You might gonna hit the tree, you might gonna clip the rough, you might going to just not adjust properly. Then you're going to lay up and you're going to play 30% over adjustment. But your main approach is going to try to get the ball down towards the other side. And obviously hope that you can stay away from the sand, from the rough, as you will hopefully be on the fairway. Then you're going to have a super good chance making eagle here on hole 5. Hole number 6, we're going to play 20% extra. 4.5 bar top spin, 3 bar side spin to the right. If you do have more topspin. Use as maximum 6 bars, as using more than 6 bars will potentially put yourself to bounce on the fairway on the other side and roll into the rough. Max distance adjustment, push up to max, and then you're gonna go full overpower with your extra mile, force hammer, or the apocalypse. Unfortunately, we hit a great right, which is not going to be helpful here. We're going to bounce on the fairway and we're going to almost clip the rough, and which is good. We don't want to clip the rough. You may wonder why play so aggressively with max overpower to the left. It's because playing out to the right with our drive would put us in a very tough spot to even get the eagle. And going to the left, it might be a tougher drive, but we give ourselves a nice chance for the albatross. And the second shot, minus 10%, as you can see, that's because we're playing this second shot uphill. And when we play uphill, the ball is going to be affected less by the wind. 2 topspin, use side spin to the right, because then you take away the trees on the right if you're not getting the drive that far. So a side spin to the right would be good, but side spin wise, you can kind of play whatever you want to. Then you play the shot from whatever distance your drive is. Power 3 ball, super important! For hole number 7, we once again are going to play with a sniper that is at least having 5.5 bar backspin, or that we're going to play with a guardian. White ring by the rough line with as much side spin to the right possible. 5.5 bar backspin, as I said, and then we adjust 1 to 1, which means we take the wind, it says 6.7, we then adjust 6.7 rings. And then you can see the curl. Look at the left edge of the ball being just halfway through the adjustment ring there to the right, like the outer part of the ring there. Then we're gonna get the ball up there to the top right. The ball is gonna fall down and we're going to try to get this one in the hole. Very, very close here on hole number 7. Don't forget the 15%. On hole number 8, we have 3 clubs to choose between. I would stretch it to 3, as if you do have the apocalypse in that minimum level 6, you can play with that one. Otherwise, it's going to be the big topper if you're not having the Thor's hammer in level 6 or above. Reason for that is the top spin. Use as much top spin as possible, combined with 1 left spin. Aim before the bunker, and then make sure that you do have the ball guideline going in between the trees, and have the second bounce in the rough for it to fall down towards the pin. This is a short video where you will, have to get it down there. If you don't get it down there, you will see this as a lost shot against your opponent, because if you don't get it down there, you're gonna most likely have to lay up, and you're gonna have to play this one with a 30% over adjustment. We're gonna take it again. So we're gonna play straightforward, and once again, on the right hand side, you see 0 and 30%. 0 means the drive. If now with the drive, we don't add or subtract anything for elevation, we just play as it is. But if we do for some reason get stuck up there and have to play down towards the pin from this area, we are going to play with a 30% over adjustment. But I hope that's not going to be the case, because we are going to go for the green no matter what. If you have a Thor's hammer level 6+, you don't have to play with a Kingmaker. But if you have a big topper, I would suggest to play with a Kingmaker, reduce the wind, as the club is with a low accuracy. It's going to be helpful to reduce the wind and give yourself an easier time. You can play with whatever big topper you might want or have. Level 1 is obviously the minimum. So, for the final hole in this playthrough, hole number 9, and we have Mr. Topper once again in our bag. Max topspin and 1 bar side spin to the right. And here, I'm trying to play a shot with the Titan, which I think, or like at least from the start, thought that I'm gonna give myself enough distance. Maximum distance with no over and under adjustment. Push up to max when you're done, and then you take a normal shot. But we do make a mistake here. when we do have the big topper, we need to play with a power 5 ball. Because we will not, as you can see here, we don't reach far at all, which makes us go very, very short for our drive. So with a big topper, you play with a berserker ball instead of a titan or a kingmaker. But if you have a higher upgraded apocalypse, like apocalypse level 4+, or you have a Thor Sama level 5+, you can play with a power 3 ball, as obviously that club has more distance from the start. So when you go short, what do? You will have to bounce on the fairway. Don't try to overpower a rough bump here, and that's why I want to show this shot, because I always go for the rough bump, and I want at least to focus a little bit on a safety shot if we don't get the drive as we want to, because that's gonna happen more time than not. If you want to see the rough bump more in action, check out the playthrough for expert on the second shot for hole 9, then you can see the rough bump as I would be playing it in pro. So if you do get far enough with the drive on hole 9, you go for the rough bump for the second shot. Otherwise you just play safe. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this playthrough for pro. Hopefully this is going to help you in your tournament. Make sure that you comment in the comment section below if you do have any questions. Subscribe to patreon.com/golfclashtommy for the updated text guides, and the video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Good luck in the tournament.